Call the meeting to order for the Native American Commission for December 2019. And our first order of business is welcome and introductions. So we'll go ahead and start with Rebecca here.
Hi, Rebecca Knudsen with the Fargo Board of Education.
Whitney Fear, Oglala Sioux Tribe.
Chelsea Snyder, enrolled member of the 3 affiliated tribes.
Sharon White Bear, Arikara, MHA Nation.
Lenore King, Sistan Wapitan Oyate.
Anna Johnson, Turtle Mountain.
Heather Keelery, Hanktawan Nation, Eastern Shoshone.
Next thing I'd like to do is have a prayer. I'd like to ask Lenore if you could please do that for us. Thank you.
Dear Creator, just be with us today as we learn and we help make decisions for our Native community, and just be with us all and help us make good decisions and be together. Thank you.
Oh. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is approval of agenda and the minutes. I don't know if you've all had a chance to check them on. I'd like a motion to approve them.
I make the motion to approve the agenda and minutes.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. And then the next thing I have on here is a sponsorship request from the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. Amanda Vivier, she's going to present for us. I think you also have something in your packet with the request. Yep, just come on up there and just tell us your name and
Bujuanin, Indinaway Maganadag, Indigenous Asasami Winikwe. Chokcherry woman, English name Amanda Vivier.
welcome.
Would you like me to bring up the budget sheet, or?
Yes, if you could, if you have that, or either you could display it on the side. Do you have a copy for everyone?
I just have 2 copies, I'm sorry.
Okay. Go ahead and bring one up and we can pass it around up here.
Okay.
No, can,
I can tell you that what I did ask is I talked to Amanda a little bit and I asked her to give us kind of a breakdown of what they would be using this money for, and then to expound on the mission and their actions of some of the things they've done in the past that I know they've already done to help. So go ahead, Amanda.
Okay, so do I just say what we're requesting? We asked for $1,000. Last year's budget, we had spent $2,500 on the rally and the march. This year, we kind of like tried to get a little ahead of everything, and what we're asking for is $1,000 because our budget comes out to $2,840. But that also includes our IRS nonprofit taxing fee, and then also for the state nonprofit taxing fee. And the reason for getting that, or trying to get that in one sum, is that come 2020, we have that full status and are able to start applying for grants to get a structured building.
Okay, nice.
And then on the expense sheet, we don't have everything down into detail because we just started the planning, or we don't have a program yet for it. But we do have on here the rent space. We were going to use the Civic Center, however, they're booked for the 15th, so we are unable to use that space, and we will be using the Plains Art Museum. Originally, they asked for $1,200 to use their space, but they have agreed to give it to us for $400. So it's kind of a big deal. We'll have 2 floors. We've asked for 2 families to come and share their story from being impacted by MMIP, just for the healing of the people and also the healing of the family. And we budgeted that out to $175, and that would be for honorarium and also mileage. We have a group of youth singers coming from Sisseton, and they will be sharing traditional and ceremonial songs for the healing. And so we budgeted that to $320 to give them as honorarium and also as mileage. Last year, we spent $600 on shirts, and we ran really, really short on it. So this year, we budgeted out to $750 and also are collaborating with the Plains Art Museum. So they're giving us a discount to make sure we have enough shirts for everybody. And the food, we budgeted out $500 to get it catered in. Last year, we did like the sandwiches, the chips, the things like that. So this year we'd like to kind of like expand more, especially being communities being more involved, and just start offering more of those services to everybody. We also budgeted out for the big drum when we're inside having the ceremony for $150. And we have used the Red River singers with Tim Cottonwood and I can't remember his name right now. So we spent $150 on that. Our budget at $150, and then the small drum for the march, $50 as an honorarium as well. We had all of the legislative bills passed this past year, so we'd like to honor the task force, have a ceremony for the task force as the members, because collectively we came up with the things we'd like to see changed. And Kathy and Ruth had did an awesome job in getting in there and getting those bills passed. So we'd like to honor them with blankets. And so we have a budget out for $60 on blankets. And then the miscellaneous will just be for like poster boards and markers and paint and things like that, just to get the march and sufficient.
Okay, can I ask a couple of questions?
Absolutely.
You said the 15th, are you gonna be doing this on a Saturday? or-
No, we will be doing it on the 14th. The reason I said the 15th was at the Civic Center, they were booked
Oh,
for
I
the 15th.
understand.
So the 14th, they were unable to let us in there.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Let's start with Rebecca.
I don't, but thank you.
I don't think I do either. Thank you.
I got a couple questions. Are you currently, do you currently have nonprofit status?
So the beginning of this year, we started the process of getting nonprofit. So as it is right now, we have an ID. We just wrote up all of our bylaws. We passed that in the group, the task force group. I am writing out a $40 check and mailing that off. And so our year will start in 2020. So we're hoping like February is when we have everything paid, settled, and moving forward in that way. So as of the nonprofit status completed right now, no, it's still in the process of being
Right on.
completed.
Well, congratulations, that's awesome, it's definitely needed. Have you had, I saw some donations and grant funding. I was wondering if you plan on utilizing any available grants like the Bush Grant. There's some from the Dakota Medical Foundation. There's available monies here.
Yes, no, absolutely. So like that's one of the committees that we have right now. We just started forming committees and getting everybody on the ball again to get it rolling so we can make sure and get our nonprofit status. So one of the grants that we will also be applying for is the Awesome Grant here in Fargo, right? There's a couple of ladies who are teaming together to get that stuff done. So we do plan on filing for grants as of like this very second, like probably not until we get that status going. And let's see, I mean, we have big plans. We plan on getting a building. We plan on offering a lot of little things. One of the things that we have coming up is, and for this year, and hopefully come 2021, we have our building, our structure. But right now, we'll just have a virtual art exhibit. So we are requesting for artists to maybe do a 50% donation for MMIW, and that funding will go directly to families who are impacted by, by the MMIW, MMIP incidents, right? So
So the virtual art exhibit, is that available now for people to?
No, it is
Oh,
not available yet.
sorry.
No,
I'm
it's
so
fine.
excited.
I know. So no, we actually just started getting artwork right now, right? So we have 8 pieces right now. Our kickoff, hopefully, we're going to be doing a press release here in January to also do a call for artists and let the community kind of know what we're doing, engaging them, and hopefully February or March it's in full swing.
I swear, 2 last questions. The first one is, what other organizations within the community, nonprofit or otherwise, have you guys utilized or brought in to kind of help with volunteers or this specific event?
Right. So I am, well, Daughters of the Earth helps. They've donated last year, and Jenny is actually going to be helping again this year. And then, so I'm the spiritual director for the Native American Christian Ministries. So we do a lot of partnering with them. They're kind of like sisters, right? So anytime that we have brought a spiritual leader, we have split the pay with Native American Christian Ministries. Also, when we've brought a lot of the things that kind of focusing on right now, I guess, is like the traditional healing, Indigenous cultural knowledge, right? Revitalizing that traditional knowledge. So we've also partnered with Share House. They've paid for food. They've paid for rocks. So it's kind of like partnering with a lot of the people who are underserved in our community, the man in the ditch kind of guy, the people that kind of need a lot of help. So.
Okay, and then the last question is, how can community members or anybody that wants to become involved contact you and get more information? Contact the organization directly? Is there Facebook, phone number, email?
So absolutely, we have a Facebook page, and that's Murdered Missing Indigenous Women, and we have it on the Facebook Fargo-Moorhead Facebook page. We also have a website, and we also have an email. And I mean, so when I'm posting the events that I'm doing, I also share my number with people. So we have an office space right down the road at the small regional business building, 417 Main.
The phone number and email real quick?
Yeah, so if I had my phone and my grandson didn't have my phone.
No
So
worries about it.
I think the MMIW,
Here, we have
you
that.
do have it, thank you.
It's on this. This
Thank
is the
you.
correct one?
Yes.
Okay. That's it. Thank you. It's awesome. Excited to see what happens this year.
Right on, thank you.
Lenore, do you have any questions?
Well, I know I attended the meeting yesterday, but before I left, there is another meeting on the 18th of this month, correct? At the Plains Art Museum. So if there is anybody interested in wanting to be a part of it, just join us and help us get this going and making it happening. It's been growing every year.
Yes.
And it's so exciting. I know last year we got together and we made ribbon skirts. So, I mean, that was a really, really good time with getting to know the other women and everybody else so I hope we can do that again this year before. So everybody had a ribbon skirt on the march, so.
Yes, absolutely. And then we do have extra ribbon skirts for the women who are coming and don't have them. Also, as a task force, we did another ribbon skirt making with people who are in the halfway houses and treatment centers.
Great idea.
Anna?
No, I don't have any questions. I think Chelsea covered everything. But thanks. I appreciate it.
Heather, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I know in the past you guys have partnered with Indian education programs and bringing like the youth and stuff in. You didn't mention that as a partnership this year?
Yeah, actually, I kind of skipped past that. I actually didn't go over our agenda, so if I could do that really quick, right? So our agenda is starting at 1 p.m. and we'll have assistants. Well, we are hoping that maybe one of the Native Commission members would come and help do opening remarks. I kind of spoke with Sharon about it, and if Sharon's unable to do it, maybe somebody else is able to come and do that. That would be great. So we want to start with opening remarks. We have our assistant singers. We have the 2 families who will come and share their story for healing and also healing for community. We have the legislative honors, so that's to honor the bills that have been passed as well. And we have a kids story, creation story making, and that will be with Joe from Plains Art Museum. And what that is we're trying to reach out to the kids in local, or not local, but close reservations to get them engaged with us here in the city of Fargo and get that movement like that as well. We have Jennifer Buckley, who sits on Indian Ed and is working with Melody Stabler right now on getting permission slips and stuff like that passed so the kids can come and be there. So this event's mostly focused around kids, kind of raising up kids and getting them engaged with truth-telling in a kind, gentle way, right? And then I don't know if she was going to reach out to the Moorhead side or not, or if we haven't gotten that far. This was our second meeting we just had yesterday. We start the march at 3:30, and then at 4:15 we have our meal. So, but yes, totally getting Indian Ed engaged. We just started that process though, so getting everything going in that way.
Okay, so that starts another question. If you're working on getting the youth involved, but the march is at 3:30 and that's when school's out, have you guys thought about busing and making sure that they're back and returned to their schools? They're gonna miss the actual march part of it.
Yeah, so actually, so my kids are in school, and so they've attended the Native programming, and busing, from what I understand with my kids anyway, is the busing has transported them after, like when we had the event over right off at Island Park, and I don't believe that ended till like 6:30. So we're still working out the technicalities in it, so.
Okay, sounds good. I love this event. I think it's great to have in the community. Are you gonna have flyers, or how are you gonna distribute like actual posters? Because I'd love to hang them up around NDSU, and I'm sure other people would like to actually physically hang some posters up.
Yep, absolutely. Last year we also had posters. We had flyers, we had programs, we had all of those things come out. Last year we started planning a little bit late, so it was like 3 weeks before the event, but we definitely had those flyers and those posters out like a week and a half before the event, which I think is really great timing so it doesn't get really stagnant in between as we give maybe like put them out a month ahead of time and then again a week and a half just to make sure it's fresh with everybody.
Sounds good. Thank you. Good job.
Amanda, you said December 18th was your next meeting. What time did you say and where at?
It is at the Plains Art Museum at 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Okay, you did
Actually,
say
we have a whole agenda out up until the event.
that. Okay,
So the 18th is the next meeting, and these are committee meetings. This is for the event committee and also fundraising committees, right?
your
And then
regular meeting is usually the last Wednesday, right?
the last Wednesday of every month, except for this month due to the holiday, we will have it on Monday the 30th at 2 p.m. at the Plains Art Museum. And then those things are also on our Facebook page, so those are updated frequently. And so it's like bi-weekly for the month of December.
Right.
Come January, it's every Wednesday at 2 p.m. at the Plains Art Museum. So that'll go all the way up until the event.
Okay. I have one thing to say. I appreciate what you're doing. I remember when we first began this type of work, and I know you guys have had a lot to do with putting together those bills and what, those, like you said, recommendations of what was in there. And so I appreciate the people that have done that together. That's very good. I'm glad that it grows every year, I think that's wonderful. So at this time, I need a motion to, for this sponsorship for $1,000 for the MMIW. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve the $1,000 for the MMIP to be released when funding is available in January.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign? All right, that pass. Thank you so much.
Teaming I tried Lily, but I'd scare everybody here. Thank you.
And then we have some old business now. we have the bylaws update, and I know that we had said we wanted to look over the bylaws and have any recommendations that we wanted. One of the first ones I know that we need to do is to change the amount of people on the executive committee. We're no longer going to be, we like to change the, having no treasurer. The planning department has been doing most of that work now. And so with that, we wouldn't need a treasurer, so that's one of the changes that we would make. Does anyone else have changes that they recommend?
I have a question, I guess, for clarification. On G, it talks about duties of members, and it says that we serve on 2 NAC standing committees. I guess I'm unaware of what committees.
Yeah, we've been trying to do that several times. You know, we just kind of get stalled when we've been having our meetings. And when we could get to that piece, we have about 6 or 7 committees that we had. And we kind of each would take something that either we were passionate about or that you wanted to be part of. And that's where those committees were. They've been revised a couple of times. And I believe they're in here somewhere.
Right, so
that
there was
they're
like,
listed.
there was about 7 of them, so
Right.
my question is then, if each of us are responsible for being on 2, then it overlaps committee members on each commission? I mean, just almost for like a backup then, so that there's always somebody reporting on it? I'm just wondering if it is mandatory for each of us to be on 2, or if we only have 7 committees, if maybe our responsibility could be 1, and if we can't make a meeting, or then we almost have somebody that would be a backup for it. That would just be my question or conversation around that piece.
Do you have, so you're wanting to just have 1 person per
Just around
committee?
1, yeah, like if
Or
we're,
1 committee per person?
yeah, I mean, if we only have 7, is it 7 that I remember seeing, about 7-ish committees?
There is.
Yeah,
My thing about that is, yeah, that's nice, like you're saying, maybe that was maybe some of the thought about it, but sometimes it's nice to have more than 1 person, you know, to be thinking about what's on that committee that they want to work towards, and it's also to kind of, one of those things about the committees is to try to recruit people from the community to serve on those committees. They don't have to be on this board to serve on there. So that's some of the things that we're trying to do is, you know, have 2 for each one, and just to make it easier on each other a little bit.
Sharon?
Yes,
I have
go
a
ahead,
question
Rebecca.
to build on what Heather was talking about. Article 6, under Article 6 committees, standing committees, on A, it says each committee must include NAC members who shall be the majority and others representing the interests of the NAC. So I'm just wondering if that's in conflict
How many members?
or presents a challenge as well?
To have them as the majority.
Right, I just wonder how that connects to this discussion. Would it be hard to have, if there were 1 member from the NAC serving on a committee, it would be difficult for that person to be serving in a majority on a committee?
I think what this is if there was some places where we had 3, because, you know, somebody wanted to be on there, and then they were just trying to make sure that you didn't go over having a majority that would, like, for this board itself, not that committee. And I think that's where that comes in, because there was some people would sometimes yourself, myself, John, we'd all be on there. But if other people wanted to attend, they could, but then we couldn't have 5 of us there at that, because we would be forming a regular NAC committee.
I understand what you're saying there, yeah.
So that's kind of what that was, I think, in place for that.
Chair?
Yes, sure.
Yep, maybe just as a quick update, I think we recognize that there's more edits that are needed in the bylaws to kind of update based on the current practices of the commissioners. I think at this point, if I remember from our minutes and notes from last month, you had asked that we take action just to get these in place to talk about the treasurer and executive committee piece. And then I think some of the work in 2020, early 2020 is to, you know, by all means, if we want to edit these or revise how you're organized, or I think there's lots of room for those edits as we were talking.
Okay,
That's just a recommendation, of course. If you'd rather just hold on all of this until you can do it all at once, that's fine too.
okay. That was kind of my understanding. I know in the last meeting I did say people come with your things to consider. And so I don't know if you have that specifically written up for any changes. If you don't, then I would ask again that we submit things and or actually wait for our meeting so that we can give you a chance to look them over again and decide if there's changes you'd like to make.
Yeah, it was more just a clarifying conversation before I write something up, because I just didn't know why we
Okay.
were required to have two when we haven't even had conversations of developing which committees we had at this point.
Okay, well, like again, I said, we keep trying to get to that, and we just need to have our meeting where we can move forward with all the things that, these are the things, they may seem like little things, but they're big things because we need to move forward with them. And assign people to the committees. Again, we try to have you do what you are passionate about. So right now at this time, I'm just gonna table all that discussion until the next meeting. And then I'm gonna ask for a motion to change our bylaws where we have on Article 4, C and E, where we have a treasurer on our board, and then we would just no longer have that treasurer. So to remove that person, and we'd have to change D to where they serve, and we'd also have to change any of the items that would need to be changed according to the treasurer. Oh, in Article 4, the list of officers.
I'd like to make the motion to update the bylaws to remove the treasurer position as presented in the documents.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Will you please call the roll?
Knutson,
Yes.
Keeler,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Snyder,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Vivier,
Yes.
White Bear.
Yes. Okay, thank you, ladies, for that. The next thing on our old business is, the elections. So we have removed that position of treasurer, which was Chelsea. And so thank you, Chelsea, for stepping up at that time. So right now, the only person, Lenore will be moving up as the president, as it is in the bylaws. And the next thing is we need to vote for a vice president right now. So the first thing I would ask is if there is a motion, or is there any recommendations for that?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a nomination for vice chair to be Anna Johnson.
Okay. And do I have any other motions?
I had submitted a nomination for Whitney. She's just been here for like a year, a little bit longer, but I think either one of you would be amazing, so.
Okay, so I don't know if we have a system of having both of you, Anna and Whitney, to.
So, yeah, so in this case, staff was just serving as the de facto nominating committee, and we've talked with both Anna and Whitney, and so the nominating committee is presenting Whitney as the nominee based on everyone's input.
Okay. So then, Anna, do you decline?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
what you?
I decline, yeah.
Okay,
I think Whitney would serve greatly.
okay. Thank you. So all those in favor of Whitney to be the vice president for the Native American Commission for 2020?
Aye.
Aye.
Please say aye.
I think you need a motion and a second.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Didn't you make a motion? No,
I would like to make a motion.
Sorry about
to
that, yes.
Ratify Whitney Fear as the vice chair for the Native American Commission.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Go ahead and call the roll, please.
Keeler,
Yes.
Vivier.
Do I vote?
Oh, wait, no, sorry. You don't.
Abstain?
King,
Abstain?
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Snyder,
Yep.
White Bear.
Yes. Thank you. You are now our new vice president.
Thank you.
And
Done an excellent job, Anna.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I get to do the prayer every time.
the next thing I have on the agenda is a sponsorship request for the Youthworks Native Youth Circle. Do we have someone here for that today?
Hello, thank you for having me here.
Go ahead and state your name, please.
I'm Brandon Beatty. I work at Youthworks. My family is I'm Anishinaabe, and my family is from White Earth.
Okay. And I see that you had presented before, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so, is this a new, no, this is to send the other half, is that correct?
It's to give them all of it, or
To
did we
give
give
them-
them some?
Didn't we ask for them to come back with a new for the new budget?
For the new budget, so this is for January?
Just trying to see if they are. Where do you have that? Yeah. So go ahead and kind of tell me what you're gonna be doing. Is this the same things you had before, or can you just go ahead and state it, again for
Yeah.
us? It doesn't have to be a long thing, or just let us know what you're asking for this time. I know we voted on part of this before, but we didn't have the funding for that, so.
Yeah, so Youthworks has put together a group for school-age Native American youth in Fargo-Moorhead area. We've run 3 groups so far. It's been really fun. I've liked it a lot. I've met a lot of community members, and the community members have been able to come in and teach different things about culture. We've been able to have meals, really excellent meals, traditional meals using traditional ingredients and sometimes not so traditional ingredients, but like things that all of us have probably grown up on. But yeah, it's been really good. We're seeking funding because we ended up getting funding from the Fargo-Moorhead area grant from the arts and culture part of that. And we came up a little bit short on what we were seeking to be able to provide, because we wanted to provide food, because food is very important. You never know when someone's going to eat or not. So we like to feed people and to be able to have supplies and pay our presenters and the people who have those skill sets to be able to come and teach and share their knowledge. Part of that is because we believe that people with that cultural knowledge are very important. And just because they're helping the community doesn't mean that we shouldn't pay them like anyone else we would pay to come in and do things for us like that. So we're very dedicated to doing that. So we just want to make sure that we have the funding to be able to do this and provide these services. We're working with a lot of different organizations. One of our main partners is the Indian Ed program in Fargo. And we've had several people come from learning about our program from the Indian Ed program. So we're developing that. We're doing a little bit more outreach and trying to get more people involved and just creating a nice safe place for youth in the Fargo-Moorhead area to learn about culture and just have a space that's for them. So.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Chelsea?
Always.
Go ahead.
What age ranges does your program service?
So this specific group is anyone in the middle school to high school range. So as long as they're in school, they're able to attend. We are working on figuring out a way to expand it so we can serve people like who are out of school up to the age about 22, because that's kind of our age range of our organization. And we know that there's a need for that, but we also know that the needs for the older kids are sometimes different than the younger kids. So we just kind of want to have that little separation and start off with the school-aged kids.
Have you thought about connecting with the Native Stand program? I know that's a program that does sexual health for Native youth, and I know that they have a little bit of funding there, maybe an idea. But I just wanted to say thank you for doing this. I've heard a lot of feedback from the community, and everybody is really excited, and the fact that it's continuing is really awesome. So thank you for being patient until we get some more funding, and thank you for coming back.
Lenore, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I attended the last one, Brandon, and it was just really, really nice to meet the kids and get to know them and laugh and eat with them. And I think as commissioners, we should all attend at least one or a couple of them and meet and see what they're doing, because it's fantastic.
The next one is on the 18th of December. So it's at our new building, our new Youthworks building. If you want more details, I don't have the address offhand, but you are all invited to come. In fact, any community members that, the adults, if you can get in contact with me and have a conversation, because I just want to make sure that it's mainly focused on youth. So if there's any adults in the community who want to come and join, have a conversation with me, and we can see how we can incorporate you and how you can help us in this program. So just have that, but yeah, send all the kids here, all the school-age, middle school and high school kids, send them our way on the 18th from 4 until 5:30. So
The phone number to get in contact with you?
the main Youthworks number, which I should know off the top of my head, but I do not.
Is it the 85581?
Yes, I believe so.
701-232-8558. I cheated, it's on here. So.
Thank you.
Okay, Anna, do you have any questions for?
I don't have any questions, but I will be teaching Dreamcatcher making on the 18th. So
Nice.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's nice to finally meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you as well. I was supposed to teach at the last meeting, but I had pneumonia. So
I covered for you.
appreciate it.
Work together well as a community, all
thank
working
you.
together.
Heather?
Yeah, so transportation is always a barrier when it comes to any youth events. Do you guys help with transportation, or at least provide bus passes, or is it scheduled around bus routes, or how do you guys overcome that barrier?
So that is something that I believe is a barrier from what I've noticed in our attendance. I'm working with different places to see if they're like specifically like I'm in contact with Melody Stabner about like some of that stuff, and she's bounced some ideas. So we're working on it. We do have bus passes available through our outreach, like our street outreach program, that would be available for students if they were not able to get a ride back. One day, hopefully, I would like to provide transportation, because I do realize that that is a barrier for a lot of students, and sometimes families don't have the ability to get back and forth. So it's on our mind, but we don't have any solid solutions or any way to do that as of now. So also, if you have any ideas about that, or if you have any resources that I might not know about, I'd be interested in that as well.
There's usually a lot of grant funding that help with that. I've seen a lot in the last probably 6 months on a federal level that are coming up with transportation support for preventative youth services, and I think that you guys might be able to look at some of that. If I see any more come across my desk, I'd be more than happy to forward them over to you guys. But I love this. I think that programs like this are really needed in our community, and I appreciate the work. And I'd love to be on the list of communications, when more meetings are coming up, and if there's anything that you guys need from me, let me know.
Thank you.
I will. I'll grab everyone's the flyers at least that come out. I do have a list that's working. I do know that our flyers are usually pretty big, and so it's really big, so it gets bounced back to me a little bit. But I'll find a way to make those more accessible so they don't get bounced back, and I'll get your names on the list.
Rebecca, do you have any?
Thank you for the information. I'm happy to be included for those future meetings, just to be aware of that. Serving on the Board of Education for Fargo, it would be very, very nice to just become a little bit more familiar with the program. Thank you.
Whitney?
I don't have any questions. I've been kind of in the loop since Annie and Brandon and Cheyenne started planning this group, and the intention and time they put into planning beforehand is really, I think, what the success is here. So I think other groups can take lead from that to the planning before execution really does pay off, because everything has come together so nicely. So good job to you guys. You're doing awesome stuff.
Thanks. Well, thank you. And I think we have to make a motion in order to agree with this sponsorship. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve the sponsorship as indicated in the packet for $1,000 for the youth programming through Youthworks.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Please call the roll.
Snyder,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Keeler,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
White Bear.
Yes. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. The next thing on the agenda is FM Native Programs Consultant, and we have Elsie who will give us a report, please.
So just started November 7th. Oh,
Excuse me, go ahead.
I think we skipped an item,
Oh,
5C.
oh, I'm sorry, I did skip that. Okay, so the winter powwow for January, I'm totally sorry about that. So do we have an update on that? I know we have an agreement here. And I guess I'm not sure who the First Nations is, First Nations Electric, and
Yeah, so basically, thanks to the leadership of the commissioners on the Winter Powwow Planning Committee, they found a fiscal agent to serve as sort of a pass-through to access funds. So anytime that we're giving an organization funding up front, it's customary to have an agreement like the one attached, so that they're committed to using it for the purpose of the powwow. And so it's just a really simple business agreement, and we just need your approval on it.
okay, my questions are, for this is this, does it matter if it's out of state of North Dakota? No? And then how do we know what this company is? Are they bonded? Or they, because you're going to be handing the funds, and I know they're not nonprofit, are they?
No, they don't have to be. Heather has been working closely with them, so they understand the expectations about what.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and tell us some things then, Heather?
Yeah, I mean, they're a Native American-owned electric company that serves Fargo-Moorhead. They've been a standing company for many years. They've actually have partnered with us in a lot of sponsorships. The last 2 years at the powwow, they've actually donated the money to help pay for some of the Tiny Tots payouts, and then they've also done some bigger donations for the items that we've done in the community in the past. When we were looking at, the city didn't want to continuously just work on paying little things out, so they asked us to look for a fiscal agent. And because this is a Native American-owned business in our community, they are more than willing to help partner with that. And we have a meeting set up with them tomorrow morning if this is approved as the fiscal agent. I can honestly tell you that if we don't approve these guys for the payout, I'm not sure the timing, especially because we don't have another meeting until February. I wouldn't be sure when the next timing would be for us to approve another fiscal agent.
And if I can add, one benefit of this is it allows the volunteers and the people working on the event to have cash in front as opposed to be reimbursed. And it's easier on both the city's component as well as the volunteers, in my personal perspective.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Rebecca?
No, I don't.
Whitney?
Nope.
Chelsea?
First time, no. This looks awesome, and I really want to say thank you to First Nation Electric for reaching out and agreeing to be the fiscal sponsor for this event.
No questions, good job.
I don't have any questions either.
Okay, thank you. So I guess that's, again, do we have a motion to accept the agreement as with First Nations?
I'll make a motion that we accept First Nation Electric as for our funding. Fiscal agent.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Please call the roll.
Knutson?
Yes.
Snyder?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Keeler?
Yes.
Beer?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
White Bear?
Yes. Okay, so then now we'll go back down to the FM Native Programs Consultant.
All right. So I got a lot of response and feedback from the article in the paper. So that came out in the forum. Had some people suggest some board members and things like that. But I just want to give a little bit of information as to kind of what we're doing and where we're at right now. So when you're forming a nonprofit, you have two different types of boards. There's a working board and there's a governing board. So as a general rule of thumb, working boards consist of board members who actually do the work of the organization. This includes administrative tasks and fundraising, but it also includes rolling up sleeves and doing mission work. So we're identifying people throughout the community who would be an asset to this working board. And then eventually we will be transitioning into a governing board, which is more oversight administrative duties rather than actual hands-on. So again, right now we're in the middle of building the infrastructure and sustainability planning and funding phase. We should be reaching out to community partners, organizations, and individuals beginning in January for input, resources, and connections. And we are hoping to have all of the groups working together in our community, just like we had the MMIP here earlier. We have Youthworks, we have Daughters of the Earth, we have FM Crossroads, we have this organization, First Nations Electric, to create a cohesive, collaborative, communicative group of individuals who are going to dedicate themselves to the needs of our Native community here. So think of it more as like an umbrella organization. So that's kind of where we're at. We want to have everybody working together, sharing resources, opportunities, information, so everyone has the chance to work together on the issues that they are passionate about, and so that the community has access to the resources that they need to thrive. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm more than open to questions, and if anybody would like to donate their time, be added to the listserv, has any suggestions of organizations, any information at all, please email fmnpinfo@gmail.com or call, text anytime, 701-715-2967. I just want to say thank you, really appreciate it, and as always, any questions, I'm open.
Heather, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Anna?
No, I don't have any right now.
No questions, good job, Chelsea.
Whitney?
I have no questions, thank you.
Rebecca?
No questions, thank you.
Any from the audience?
Okay. I just want to say thank you, and I know that you've been working really hard on this, and really hoping to, can't wait to see this get started and be on there, because it's very well needed, so I really, really appreciate that. Okay. The next thing I have is public comment. Is there anyone here that has to have listed for their public comment? Please come on up and state your name, and thank you so much. welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Am I in the right place? My name is Kathy Langenwalter. I work at the Circle of Nations School, or formerly Wahpeton Indian School in Wahpeton, North Dakota. I'm Umatilla, Chippewa, and enrolled member at Yakima Nation in Toppenish, Washington. First, I'd like to thank you for your commitment to the Native community. I think I'm awesome. I've never been to a meeting. This is really cool. I'm just here to share a little information about us. We're an off-reservation boarding school for grades 4 through 8 in Wahpeton. We are federally funded through the BIE. Students can apply. They just need to be enrolled member of a recognized tribe or prove 1/4 blood quantum. We've been around since 1904. We started as an agricultural school for students in grades 1 through 9. And we had over 250 kids back in the day. Right now we have 100 students from 23 different tribes and from 9 different states. Our enrollment's been going down, so we're trying to get the word out that we're still around and we're still accepting students. I know you guys are trying to do your best for kids in your community here, but we just want everybody to know there is a place offered for students that aren't quite making it in the public school system. I don't know if you have any questions for me. I gave you my contact information.
Okay. Do you have any questions? Go
Yes.
ahead. Yep, go first.
I love youth education. This is kind of like my cup of tea, but I'd be really interested if just briefly you could tell us maybe what the difference in your cultural inclusion and curriculum is here versus what they might be getting at our public schools, because coming from Indian education prior to my current role, I know that that was one of the biggest things that our families talked about missing, was that they're just not seeing or hearing themselves in the curriculum in middle school. So could you elaborate a little bit on what you guys do?
Right. As you probably know, finding cultural teachers is really difficult. We do have a culture teacher right now. We did have one last year. We went 2 years without one just because we couldn't find anybody, but our kids do receive culture right during the school day. It's part of their class. And then we also have in the evenings, we have Regalia Club and Beading Club.
I love it. I will be in contact with you.
Okay.
Because what do you guys do with your 8th graders for college and career readiness so that they know what to look for in high school to prepare for higher education?
We do have a counselor. Our school counselor does preparation for our 8th graders. They actually go on a field trip to Flandreau, and then at the end of the year, they help them fill out applications for going on to high school.
Okay. Here's my shameless plug. I'd really love for them to come and visit us at NDSU. I work as the assistant director for multicultural recruitment, so I will definitely be in contact with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's great.
Anna, do you have anything?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Bet.
No questions. Great job, Kathy.
I just want to thank you guys for what you're doing. I've had the opportunity to visit Circle of Nations when I worked back home on my reservation. Not only what you're doing, but the support that you provide for our children who really need it and might be lacking that. I also want to tout your High Ropes course. It's beautiful and wonderful, and I had an opportunity to participate in that through a Boys and Girls Club event for the 3 affiliated tribes. It's amazing. You get to climb telephone poles, and you don't have to be that in shape to do it. So I wanted to throw that out there, too.
I'm glad you did that, yeah.
Yeah, so Mods get odds for what you're doing, and it's much needed, so.
Thank you. Whitney?
Hi, thanks for coming. I don't have any questions either, just a thank you for what you're doing. And also, I'm taking on Heather's lead, want to offer, I know that it's sometimes hard to find providers for healthcare for students of school age for things like ADHD or emotional problems. I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner. My practice here in town, I accept all Medicaid and uninsured patients, and I can see kids. So putting that out there. And then if you have any kids that are interested in a career in healthcare too, I'd be open to talking with them about career in nursing or in medicine otherwise, because we definitely need more of that. Just in nursing, where Native American people comprise less than 1% of the nursing workforce. So always looking for any opportunity to get kids interested in healthcare too.
Okay, yep, thank you.
Rebecca?
Thank you for being here. Are you connected with the Indian Education Program in Fargo, West Fargo, just for collaboration and communication?
I am not, or we
Okay.
are not.
Okay, I can pass your information on to the director of that program, Melody. We've talked about her, mentioned her name here a couple times before, just in case there would be some information sharing or collaboration.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't really know where to start. I just started this position 2 months ago, and they said, go spread the words.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I do know a little bit about the school. Some relatives that work down there, Siobhan and some of the others. So one of the things I was thinking as you're talking is maybe some of the events that the Youthworks are doing, if there's a way to get some of the students to either come to that or, you know, collaborate with them on how they have people that they get and maybe they can come there to do some of that. I
I
think
was
that would
thinking
be
of
a
that
really
when he
good
was up there
idea.
talking about, that'd be great for our kids to come up
And-
here and participate.
I know we have the gentleman's information. We also have the information for another lady that works there. And I think maybe I could ask Lenore if you can pass that on to Kathy.
That's Cheyenne. Yeah, my sister, I'm really close with the Circle of Nations, so it's Cheyenne.
Okay,
is-
all that
works at
information
Youthworks.
was in the agenda packet, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes,
yep,
the
I can
phone
get
number
that.
and everything is on there for Youthworks. And so I think that would be a really good spot for you there. But I really appreciate your coming here. So thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Go ahead. And then the next thing is announcements, if you have any. So go ahead.
I just have I made an announcement last month that Homeless Memorial Day is on the 21st of this month. That's the winter solstice, the longest day of the year, so that's why it is observed on that day. The Native American people are overrepresented in the homeless population and all across North Dakota, but in Fargo, we did have actually several Native American members of the homeless community pass away this year, including some veterans. So if any Native Commission members are able to make it, that'd be nice. There's a walk, a vigil, in which it's usually individuals who are either still homeless or recovering from that, carry a symbolic coffin from First Presbyterian to First Lutheran Church. They will meet at 6:45. And then they'll walk. Buffalo River Singers usually comes and provides a drum for that. And then there'll be a short service at First Lutheran if you're not able to walk because of the sidewalks being icy and all of that. I understand that. So there's a short service and then usually some light refreshments afterwards provided by the ladies and gentlemen of First Lutheran Church. But it's very nice, non-denominational, neutral service too, so it is not just a Lutheran service, it's non-denominational, open service, very informal, you don't have to be fancy.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
Can I just add, what time, if commission members are able to be there, what time would you?
6:45 for the vigil walk at First Presbyterian is where that starts, and they walk to First Lutheran, and the service would start at 7 p.m. at First Lutheran.
Go ahead, Rebecca. Do you have an announcement?
Yep, Sharon, it's on my agenda to attend that event.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions?
Real quick, if we wanted to make meaningful difference, either donating money or socks, or I've heard gloves are in need this year, what are 3 meaningful things we can do right now to help our community that's in need?
So always socks, donating cash donations, I would encourage to go to Landlord Risk Mitigation Fund through the FM Coalition to End Homelessness. I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but for each time they achieve that dollar amount, they could house a family of 4 for like a year with that. That fund is used to partner with landlords to extend leases to people they feel are high risk, so that if there's any property damage or non-payment of rent, they have a financial ability to recoup on that. So that's a good fund to donate to. Otherwise, I would just go to any shelter's website. They usually have their needs at the time on there. But yeah, socks always, because if you don't have, there's only 2 places in town really that you can wash your clothing at if you're experiencing homelessness. So if you don't have ability to access those places, especially those who are not able to reach a point where abstinence is possible from substances as kind of a requirement of accessing those services, just for people's safety, then you kind of throw your socks away when you're done with them. So it's important to have, that's from my nursing shameless plug, it's really important for people to have clean, dry, warm. Otherwise, I see a lot of problems with bad stuff happening with infection. So yeah, that kind of stuff would be great. The Gladys Ray's major fundraiser, SantaCon, is actually tomorrow, and they have a bunch of donation items on there, like coffee and stuff. So
Thank you. Anyone else? Want any comments? Nor Anna?
Oh, ma'am.
Sharon, I have to leave.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you. The other thing I wanted to say about that is, could you put that on our board? Put our site, Catlin? Okay.
I just got a flyer from Jan Eliason for that, and I'll forward it to you, Catlin.
Okay. Is there any other announcements? Well, I know this is not on the agenda, but I'd like to add this. I'd like to say thank you for the last couple of years. I've enjoyed being your president, and I'm going to continue to work on the things that I'm passionate about here, and I also have really appreciated all the help that I've received from the planning. I know it's been what do I want to say, a trial to have all the new people. They're learning, we're learning, and I've appreciated the planning department's assistance with helping me and the board to keep moving forward. So at this time, I would like to hand over the gavel, my gavel, to Lenore, and your new president. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. I look forward to this year and keeping us all together and getting the community to grow.
Thank you. Yep. So the next thing we have is a staff report. So do we have anything? Budget, go ahead,
So
Catlin.
at the back of your packet, you'll see a budget exercise, and so we need everyone to fill this out before they leave those doors, please, and turn it back into staff. So it's pretty self-explanatory. It gives background on how spending has gone in the past 4 years, and then the final page is just a place for you to fill in where you would like to see spending be prioritized for the coming fiscal year.
Okay. And then also next is the Sweat Lodge update.
Yeah, so I'm thinking everybody knows, but in case you don't know, Guy Fawkes has resigned his commission position. And so that leaves a little bit of a gap in communication about the Sweat Lodge. And so at this point in time, I have been in coordination with Guy, but if you personally hear of complaints or concerns related to the Sweat Lodge operations, please let Lenore know, and Lenore can coordinate with staff. We don't have, as staff, we don't have a lot of direct contact with the other Sweat Lodge committee members. And so, and sometimes we know if sometimes things get bad before we're aware of it in terms of conditions, et cetera, and, management conditions. We have systems in place for that. It's just that word of mouth sometimes travels slowly, and we're not active. Sometimes you'll see the complaints starting on Facebook. And so if you see comments or communications on individual websites, please pass that information on to Lenore, who can get that to staff, and we will be working on a more formal system here over the next 60 days. Thank you.
Thank you. I did have some of the members that do use that come up and give me some information. I passed it on to Catlin, so that's kind of how I think that was taken care of then. So I appreciate that, and I also appreciate Guy Fawkes stepping up to take on that role and from the Native American Commission, because that is so greatly needed in our community. So one
Yeah.
of the things I really want to see continue.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt, Sharon. You'll notice on that budget exercise how expenses have been allocated over the years towards the sweat lodge. In 2019, none were allocated, and so, or have been spent to date on that. And so it's just because, quite honestly, FM Crossroads and Fox Underground had donated all of that work. And so we'll be working on picking up that expense and discussions moving forward.
Thank you. Okay, I guess, do I have a motion to adjourn? Our next meeting will be February 6th, 2020, as we were canceling January since it lands on the 2nd of January. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion. I motion to adjourn today's meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you.